Alrighty guys, back from the PA blow-in. I actually got back home last night about 7:30, 7:40, something like that, but it was too dark and late to unload the truck, although it was a lot warmer. But start working on this thing this morning to get it out of the truck bed. Here's everything I got. I have the toolbox, there's a shifter plate, a homemade shifter plate, the seat pan. I got, I have so many dual wheel spacers right now, I don't need them, but got a set of dual wheel spacers and tires and leaf mulcher setup. And this tractor, I didn't give any money for any of this, just the money and gas and going to get it, which in theory equates to about $120. 4.5 hour drive each way. I did check the gas mileage on Big Red, and it was getting 15 miles a gallon, which was the highest I have ever gotten with it. And on the way back home, it didn't use any oil. On the way over, it did. I'm thinking it's something to do with the temperature. It was like 50 degrees coming back versus 15. So, anyhow, I'm gonna get my jack out, jack this thing up, and I'm gonna get a spindle on this side and a tire and hook tie rod end up, and the other side needs, I'm gonna put that tie rod end on. Then at least I can roll it around and get it in the barn, and I'll worry about keyways and the steering and stuff later. This is just to get it off the truck and get it in the shop to work on it. So I'm gonna get my glove back on before I get frostbite on my hand, and I'll take you guys along as I find things. So here we go. Alright guys, I got it off the truck. I do not have this front axle together correctly, but the wheels are on there enough that I could roll it off the truck, and I'm gonna go get my high lift and pick it up and take it back to the shop and pick up the rest of my bits here and put the truck away. So here I go. So for anybody that wonders about Yanni's superpowers, she can lift about a 400, about that size. I think the tires are starting to go flat on it, so it's drooping down, I think. Yeah, I think that's what was going on there. So let me strap this thing on a little bit better so I can get out back. That's what it did too, this tire went flat while it was falling. Tie this down a little bit better, and then I'm going to pick up the last couple things I got laying here, lay them up here, and carry them out back. Maybe I'll make a second trip, I don't know. So guys, got both 67 430s in the shop here. I didn't have a chance to work on it because the 71 432 decided it wanted some attention, and still haven't quite figured that out fully, but once I get that figured out, I'll get back on these. And so the little bit I just looked at these for about 30 seconds. This is a really late 67. Offhand, if I remember it, serial number is 22924, and that one is 12,399. I just looked at them beforehand, but I'm trying to decide whether to use this transmission and hook all the linkage back up and everything and switch the motor, or just roll that transmission out and put in this one. You know, I don't know. Something I'm gonna have to look at here and make up my mind. Although swapping the motor would be easier, then I end up losing oil and blah 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 blah. So yeah, we may just switch all the good parts into this, and this has an amp meter on it and stuff like that. The other one still has the push button in it, so even what may end up happening is I might switch this transmission into that frame, or the transmission with the Onan NB right there in the tank garage may get switched into that frame and get built into a machine at a later date. Won't happen right now, but you know, that's a thought I have. It's too good of stuff to throw away, but it's not good enough for this. So anyhow, after lunch, I'm going to deal with the 432. That rotten son of a anyhow, and we'll get back on these guys. So see you after lunch, or for you guys in 3, 2, 1. So, in between last segment and this segment, I found out the 432 had a filed spark plug for anybody who was curious. I have the front axle is assembled, but it is not 100% right, because actually the only left-hand spindle I have, right there, will not fit in the axle. All I had was a right-hand spindle, another one of those, and it was the only one that would fit up through the axle. But so basically, it doesn't have a keyway in this side. So if you hit something, you could skew this wheel from the steering on the other side. But for the moment, that's not a super big problem. And that was the only old style one I had. I have a new style one, like what's on that one with the nut on top. So, trying to put together a, how do I want to say this, original as I can 67. And I've been debating about what to do with this engine and transmission. My thought, as of right now, is to pull this whole assembly out of this tractor, the transmission and everything, and put it in that frame. Yes, for right now, will you be able to tell it is a different engine and transmission? You are correct. You guys get the bonus prize. But what I would like to do down the road is I would like to actually go through and paint this engine and transmission. The one thing that's kind of stopping me right now, and some of you guys know, just the little things that kind of, irk me, is how tore up this blower housing is on this. I mean, it's really bad. It's not just a little bit messed up, it's a lot messed up. Like down through here, you can tell somebody pounded it out with a hammer, and it's rubbed up against the flywheel so much there it wore through. Same at the bottom is split. Holes all through it. I mean, it's ugly from being painted. Looks like 2 or 3 times, honestly. I see two different colors of yellow for sure, but paint is fairly easy to fix down the road. I'll look for another early blower shroud if I can come across one. For a 430, I'll use it. For right now, we'll just get the tractor functional, and then I kind of want to move on to my next project. So, will I get this done tonight? I'm going to say probably not. And I'm thinking right now that I'm going to leave this transmission out when I pull it out. I'm not going to put it in this frame because this is a later frame. And I'm thinking either, if I had the tank garage open, you guys could see it, but the Onan NB transmission would actually fit this frame pretty well, except for it's all yellow and this frame is red and yellow, but so I might attach that. Oh, excuse me. Late in the afternoon, tired. I've been monkeying around all day, fighting with stuff, but it would fit this frame fairly well, and yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. At least that's my theory. I need to look for another left-hand spindle for this one. Really, these tires I put on here are not good tires. They're actually junk tires that are so hard they'll stay up regardless, especially without any weight on it. I'll show you guys here. So one of these actually come off the 424, and the other one may have come off of the 69 432, perhaps. Maybe they both come off 424. I don't know. I just grabbed 2 in the tank garage that if I had to, I could make this thing roll. So, and I got the tie rod put on. I don't know if I said that or not. But so that's at least that's option 1. What I'm going for, and obviously I'm gonna need the battery out of this. I haven't tried the cables. I don't know if any of them work or not. The throttle cable doesn't work. Come on, big money. Choke cable? Nope. Tries, but no. Well, actually, it did move there a little bit. So, hey, if I monkey around with those, I can get them going too, or not. If not, I'll just pull the cable out of that. So, and all the wiring looks like it's still here, so it shouldn't be a problem. Hook that back up. It only has, let's see, I have the clutch lining in the forward part of the clutch, but I don't have the actual planetary in this, so like I said, that was another reason for not just putting the motor on. I'd have to swap planetaries, and I have no idea what this transmission is like, blah 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 blah. So I mean, these tires, while they're junky, they are ags. No air now. I think this one has a tube. Here's the valve stem. Here's the valve stem. I think they both have tubes in them, honestly. So I'll try sticking a touch of air to them and just see what happens. And yeah. Another thing I'm going to need is a shift plate, because I don't know. I like this custom shift plate, but it's not factory. So you guys know what I'm trying to do here. So there's a I think it's fiberglass. It's either fiberglass or plastic one on this. It's not metal. That was a early only thing. My 68 also has a fiberglass one over top of a metal one. So, alrighty guys. We'll bring you guys back later when I actually get something moving here. Because my theory and plan was I was actually going to put these side by side, and I can just roll the transmission out and then stick it back in. So, transmission I want to put in that tractor, I'm going to have to actually dig it out. So, don't know if I'm quite ready for that. And then probably what I'll do is I'll take the wheels off of that, the front wheels, take off of that, put on this, and then this can just get pushed outside somewhere, or under a tarp or something. Don't want to leave it outside, but you know, when you're out of room, you're out of room, and the NB is not going to run unless I come up with a trigger coil setup. So I'm rambling, so I'm going to pack it up and go eat dinner, and I'll be back with you guys later. Later, guys. Well, that's okay. I have to apologize, guys. I didn't realize I left my tripod in the truck from the blow-in. So I have the transmission basically ready to come out. The only thing that is holding it is one bolt on this side. I'm hoping this ratchet strap I have to the frame will hold the frame up. I'm hoping. I don't have anything holding the transmission, so maybe I should put a little thought into that, huh? Keep it from dropping the whole way to the ground, anyhow. So my retreat theory is I'm gonna go back behind this tractor with a long extension. Did fall some, but it's actually picking up the whole frame in the front, so in reality the strap should be further back, but I can't get close enough to the wall with it. So here we go. actually suspended of the frame. That's software, right? Yeah. I really like that one. I don't want a pry bar right about now because there's some tension on that. About a crowbar. Don't want to have my hand down in there, guys. I think it'd be okay. The frame is not that heavy. It's about out now. Thought that might get it. I'm thinking when the transmission comes out, the frame's going to flip forward. I think. I could be wrong though. Well, or it'll sit there fairly nice like. Alright. Okay, there you are, guys. Transmission is out. So, was that as easy as I thought? I don't know. Was it harder than I thought? It could be. I know this frame isn't sitting here level, but I think I can fix that. It just needs picked up and twisted a little bit. Because the ratchets on this side, I pulled more on that side when I was taking it up. Anyhow, because I got to do that the second time, except this one has all the linkage hooked up. And the throttle cables. And the electrical. And the gas line. Then I'm going to have to switch stuff over, like the shifter balls. Decide on a shift plate. I think I'm gonna take the key switch and the push button start out of this. Because they both should have had a key switch and push button start, but I figure the wiring shouldn't be too awful bad because all the wiring is still in this. I'll just have to back trace these wires. I'm assuming both the red wires go to the voltage regulator under the dash, and this I don't know if it's a blue or a black wire or whatnot. It's probably power to the coil. Now, my other question is, what do these other two black wires do here? Let me get my flashlight out. What did I do with my other flashlight? One flashlight is MIA, guys. Well, both them blue wires go up there. I don't know. Oh, you know what? The seat pan for this has rear lights on it. I bet you them 2 red wires go to the rear lights. Because if you look, let's see. I think you guys can see it there. The light switch has red wires on it. And there's some blues going to it and whatnot. And the amp gauge down there, I think. Can you guys see that? Hey, now you guys can. So, alright. So we got that part under control. Start into the next phase, which is get this one out of the... Get that transmission over here and get this baby to a running driving spot, and then I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. If I'm going to go get another transmission and put in this or what. Because in theory, there's still 2 more 400 series frames over there. And actually, because I have this transmission and 2 more. So yeah, I have the exact 400 transmission to frame ratio going on right now. So anyhow, still blabbering. So get that done. I don't know if I'm going to call it quits for the night or if I'm going to start unhooking stuff and come out and finish it in the morning. It's pretty warm out now, so the heat's not kicking on too often. So getting some stuff done. Nice thing is the other one, this has a metal line too that goes over the motor, so I won't have to do anything with the fuel pump, just have to hook it up. Same with the throttle cables and everything. I did get all the cables moving on here. Just a little bit of PB blaster in it and a little bit of playing back and forth and they start working. So, alrighty, going to move on to something else, come back with you guys in a bit. Alrighty guys, what I'm going to say is the end of day 1 of switching the trans and stuff in this. Basically I have, well, actually I'm glad I stopped because I missed one. I missed the Swiftmatic linkage. Huh? Always a good thing to stop and look. I was getting in too much of a hurry. But anyhow, the transmission is about ready to come out. I have almost everything unhooked except for that one. And the 2 side bolts are still in it. I have both main frame mounts out front. The one stud actually came out, so it's out the whole way. Should make it a little bit easier to line it up. I'll only have to line up one side and then just kind of play with the frame up and down a little bit. Get it to line up. So I was going to do it tonight, but I ran the heater out of fuel. I have more fuel, but put some more fuel in it for in the morning, and I'll come out first thing in the morning and pull this transmission out. And I might fix some of this janky wiring, because whenever I was done with this last time, the last time I put this together, I was kind of fed up with it. After finding out it had the keyway sheared on the crank, which was partially my fault anyhow, but you know, didn't care and just put it back together. So I'm going to clean up some wiring on the motor here just to eliminate fire risks as much as possible. And then tomorrow we'll stuff that baby in there and then get everything working on that frame and get everything adjusted, and we'll go from there, guys. So, like I said, end of day 1. Maybe this will hopefully be part 1. I don't know. Mainly, I just want to get the tripod out of my truck in the morning, and so I can show you guys doing this a little bit better than just propped up on the ladder over there in the corner. So, night, guys. Later. Get to everybody in the next one. I'm not really tired. It's almost 8 o'clock at night. But I really only worked on this stuff. Well, I did put some time in there in the afternoon. I mean, I unloaded it out of the truck, and after dinner, all I worked on was this stuff. So, later, guys. I didn't come out here until about 6 o'clock, so later.